So, okay, and I'm going to let everyone take a collective breath here and understand that we just presented a lot of technical information between what Mark Smith started with and what Jennifer just did. So are there questions, or, as Jennifer noted, graphs that anybody wants to go back to have further explanation? I feel like that was definitely a lot of information, so I want to just pause and see if there's any aspect of that people would like us to repeat or articulate further. Okay, well, we can certainly get into some of this in the discussion. So what we want to do now is sort of move into the discussion portion of the agenda. And the next slide, I just decided as I listened to this presentation with fresh ears that I want to rename the title of this slide, and I would call it Key Framing Considerations for the Process that we've embarked on with you today. You know, rather than key points that we actually underscored in the presentation. So clearly the information on PFAS and residuals is evolving. And as you saw, especially from what Jennifer and Mark just presented, you know, figuring out what's the best solution is a very complicated enterprise. And Kathy talked about this at the beginning, but we do want to continue to underscore that we're looking to consider all the implications of these different options on current uses of residuals. So that's something that we haven't explored the particular implications today, but I just want to underscore that that's part of what we really need to do in this process. And, you know, also we certainly are taking actions to address public health concerns, and we do expect to implement interim screening concentrations for PFAS in residuals. But as you can see, we're sort of in the middle of looking at the different approaches. And I won't, you know, I think you understood what we did in the presentation is we tried to set a foundation for everyone to, you know, first to introduce what is this process, what do we look to accomplish, you know, how have we regulated and addressed PFAS in other media, you know, how does what we've done through the waste site cleanup regulations, what is that approach, how does that work, and how does that relate to what we're working on for residuals? You know, what is data that's available that we've reviewed? What does it tell us? What are the different screening values and other approaches that we can undertake? And then, as Jennifer showed, some extrapolations based on available data, beginning to try to characterize and understand how it might play out or what it means in the data that was collected by New Hampshire. And I can see some comments in the chat, but our idea was that we want to just have an open discussion, and we had built in another break if people need that. But I want to look and see what's in the chat. But while I'm doing that, I might propose that we either take a very short break, like 5 minutes, or maybe just keep going. I would say if you think we really should take a break, please speak up in the chat. I see Jen Peterson. I love how Jen does not hold back with her opinions. Thank you. I think it'd be good to keep going because we really don't want to, we want to make sure there's enough time for discussion because we've been talking to you all for 2 hours now. So, but let's see what's going on in the chat, and maybe Laura, you can help me with this.